Hi everyone, in today's video I want to show you how I made this simple but I think stunning card. It's white on white and it's made using the adhesive sheets that are available in our annual catalogue. These sheets are basically double-sided sticky sheets. They're 6 inches by 12 inches and you get 12 sheets in a pack. And I'll just show you another one quickly. This is a card that went on my channel last week and I showed how to make this kind of stash buster card using scraps of designer series paper, and this was made using the sheets as well. But this is today's project. I'm just going to do it in a different colourway, so I'm not sure how well you'll see it, but I've got the embossed Poinsettia Petals flowers stuck to this whisper white base piece of card, which has then been matted onto a piece of Bermuda Bay and simply stamped with a Merry Christmas, which is from the Poinsettia Petals stamp set. So I want to show you how to use them because I think they were originally designed to use with intricate die cut shapes, but they can be used for so much more. So I've got a piece of whisper white cardstock here. It doesn't really matter what size it is, because this is just going to be for my die cuts, but just to give you an idea, it's 3 7/8 by 5 5/8. And take one of the sheets out. Now, these sheets, as I said, are double-sided sticky and they've got like a waxy protective paper on both sides. One side is a completely solid piece of paper and the other side has got like score lines in it. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut a piece of this paper just so it's ever so slightly smaller in width and height to this piece of card. I cut it at 3 5/8 of an inch wide. So you can see that it's just slightly narrower, or you may not be able to see. It's just slightly narrower than the piece of card. And I'm going to do the same with the length. So I'm just going to put a little mark with my finger to show me where to cut this. And obviously, don't throw your scraps away because these can be used for sentiments or anything small. So just put them all, back in your packaging and keep them. You will use them up. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring in the sticky sheet, and the bits that are scored are the bits I'm going to peel away, but just hold them by the end very gently because these are very, very sticky now. This is the release paper. So I'm just going to stick this down onto the back of this piece of card. You will get a little bit of glue on your fingers doing it this way, but it does come off. Now they've come off together, which is handy. So I'm going to stick them down, and it doesn't matter if you leave a gap in between, because this is just going to become like one big sticker. I'm just going to I've got some glue on it there, but this is a lot easier than getting covered in, something like our liquid adhesive using these sheets. So what I'm going to do now, put this piece of card onto my magnetic platform with the sticker adhesive sheets face down. And then I'm going to bring in my Poinsettia Petals dies, and I'm going to grab the dies that I want to use. So I'm bringing in the second largest of the dies and the section that slots into the middle, which is the embossing section. I'm going to bring in the next size down. And I've got a little mark with a black Sharpie on my dies, so I know how to line them up on just a little black dot on the top of the outside, which is the cutting section, and on the section that matches with it, which is the embossing section. And then I'm going to bring in the smaller Poinsettia dies, and I'm just going to place these down. I want to try and get as much area as I can, you know, made into a sticker as possible. I've got a bit more room down here which I can hopefully get another one of this size and maybe another one of these, because I think on the last card I used 3 of the small ones, 1 big one and 2 of this side. So I'm just going to pop that through my die cutting machine and then I'll be back. I'm going to lift away the 2 sections of this die now because I've actually finished with that one, but I'm going to cut this one again. So I'm just going to position it on here where I've got a bit more space, and then I'm going to pick up these, and one of them I'm just going to pop out the die. I'll show you them all in a minute, and then I'm just going to pop this one back on to give me the 3 that I need. Punch out these other sections that I've just previously cut. And I would keep these sheets. This is the first one I made because this is all still got sticky on it, so it can all be used. And the same with this, so I would probably just keep these in the pack with all the other sheets. So what I'm going to do now is I've got a piece of thick Whisper White which I've cut in half on the short side, scored and folded. That's going to be my base card. For this one I'm going to be using Night of Navy, so I've got a piece that's a matting layer to go on the front of here, and then this is my white matting layer now to go on the front of the card. So I'm just going to bring this in, and then I'm going to bring in the die cut elements. So these now, as well as being die cut and embossed, not sure how well you're going to see them, when I turn them over they've got the paper on them, and these are now one big sticker, and you can usually see where those score lines were that were in the paper, and then you can just peel away the rest of the sticky. Now I'm going to bring my silicone mat in just to place it down on there, and then lift up, and then you can lift up the whole of the waxy release paper, and this just becomes the one big sticker. So how I made the original, I'll just try and bring it in. I'm going to stick this one down in the corner so that this one is going to go completely on the card. Then I took one of the smaller ones, and again I'm just going to peel away the release paper. Comes away really, really easily. And I'm going to pop this one down. This is where I need my silicone mat. So I'm just going to bring this in, and I'm just going to pop that one down so it hangs over the edge. Now obviously where all the adhesive is, it's going to stick to the base card, but it won't stick to my silicone mat. I'm going to bring my next piece in, peel the backing away. And I'm going to do the same with this. I'm going to position this one up here so it kind of goes off the card a bit. It's kind of, the effect that you're getting is like an embossed piece of card with this design already in it, if that makes sense. You don't have to have them hanging off your card, it's entirely up to you, but this is how I did it with the first one, and this is how I want to do it with this one. So again, I'm just going to bring in these die cuts. I'm going to position one kind of just up here. And if you get to a piece where there's no, you know, split in the paper. They usually, if you try and grab a corner, you can usually peel them away fairly easily. And then this one, I think I'm just going to kind of pop in there like so. And because you've got the adhesive on the back of all this card, as I say, they just turn them into big stickers and they stick down onto your card without you getting covered in glue. So I'm going to turn this over now. I've got an old pair of scissors that I keep for just cutting things that I've got glue on. And I'm just going to cut away anything that's overhanging from the edge of my piece of card. And I think it looks better when you've got things hanging over the edge because it just makes it look more realistic. So that's how it's looking now. So I'm going to bring in the Night of Navy. I'm going to stick this layer down. Just lining it up with the grid lines on my mat, just in the hope that it'll help me stick it down better. Stick it centrally so I've got a nice Night of Navy border all the way around. And then I'm going to turn this over and put some dimensionals onto the back of here. In fact, I've got some dimensional tape. I'm going to use that because it will cover more of an area in one go for me. And all the dimensionals and adhesive sheets and all that kind of other stuff that I've used are all available in my online store. The links will be in the video description at the beginning and underneath the video as well. And then I'm just going to peel away the release paper from the 3D foam. I can't remember whether we actually sell this 3D foam on a roll anymore, but we sell 3D foam strips which will do exactly the same job. They just might not be as wide as this particular one is. So I'm going to bring in my card, make sure that I've got this the way up that I want it, and then I'm going to position this centrally to the front of the card. So that's how it's looking now. I'm filming this at night and it's very bright here in this craft room, so that may be why you can't see the design properly, but there will be a photograph in the thumbnail which you should be able to see it a lot better. So that's what I've got so far. So now I've got a scrap of card. I'm going to bring in some Night of Navy ink. I'm going to use the Merry Christmas greeting from the Poinsettia Petals. Now it only looks small on the front of the package, but that's because there's 18 stamps in here and these stamps go with the die set and the stamps are big. So the images on the front look small, but the actual stamps themselves are quite substantial. So I'm just going to pick this up with my block, ink it up nice and gently. I'm just going to have to bring this one towards me a little bit more, and I'm going to just stamp it down so that the tail on the Y is near the bottom of my card. And that looks lovely. I love the font on this particular one. I'll try and bring it up to show you. It's beautiful, it really is lovely. So I just want to cut a piece now that's, you know, not quite as wide as the white matting layer. So I'm going to bring in my little paper guillotine and I'm going to trim it down and then pop it in and turn it round and trim it off as close as I can get to the actual words of the Merry Christmas and trying to keep it as straight as I can get it. And also just being careful, because I always think that Night of Navy and real red especially always stay wetter longer. So this is going to come in here and it's going to go on there, but I'm going to trim it down and I'm just going to flag the end. So I'm just going to cut it down a little bit, then I'm going to cut up to the middle and then come in from the sides, little fishtail end, so it looks like a banner end, and that's how that's going to look. I'm just going to turn it over, some dimensionals in again, and then position this where I want it. So this was my original, so I'm going to position it probably similar, and I put it up to the edge of the coloured cardstock, not to the edge of the actual white card. So that was the one I'd already made, and this was Bermuda Bay with Bermuda Bay ink, and this is Night of Navy cardstock with Night of Navy greeting, and I think that's all that needs. You could add some bling if you want to, but I really don't think it needs it. So as I say, I'll try and get, oh, and the difference with this is this one opens this way and this one opens this way. So I'll try and get some better photographs and put them in the thumbnail, but that is just how to make a quick and simple embossed effect looking card using our adhesive sheets. So all the links to the products I've used will be underneath the description in the YouTube video. They'll also be in the accompanying blog post, and you can get to that using the link again that's in the, underneath the video, to my website at applelover53.co.uk, and then there's a tab that says blog, so there'll be an accompanying blog post with links that go directly to my shop. Anyway, I hope you like that project. Please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.